there's been a real revolution in the music industry the last 15 years, I believe. I mean, and it's interesting because to a lot of people it feels like it was just like paf, and then the whole music industry just turned itself upside down. But I really believe that the music industry started changing as the internet started evolving. So for those of you who are more than 35 and remember the LimeWire day, the Napster days, the Kazaa days, music was changing already at that time. And I think to me, what is the most profound change about the music industry is the fact that artists don't need executive producers anymore. And it is a good thing, and at the same time, it is a bad thing. So before telling you why it's a bad thing, I'm going to tell you why I believe that it's this song again? I'm going to tell you why I believe that it's a great thing. When I started making music, when I did my first show ever in front of a crowd in Brussels, in a club in Belgium in 1992, the dream, the only way we believed to be able to have our music out to the world was to sign to a record company. So we had to find a record company like Sony, BMG, Warner, EMI, etc., or maybe an independent label. And that was the only way at that time to be able to have your music come out as a CD in a store. We had no idea how it worked. We had no idea about distribution, publishing, all that stuff. All we knew was that, yeah, when you sign to a record label, there it is. And when I was probably 93, 94, after doing a lot of shows, a lot of shows in the hip hop scene in Paris, every day I was at Universal. Every day I was at Universal. I remember it was not far from Jardin des Tuileries. No, Jardin du Luxembourg. I think it was the Métro Luxembourg. And I would go there all the time because there was an A&R. He liked me. So he would let me come. I would make him listen to some beats. I would make him listen to some demos. But it was like, yeah, in France, it's in English. It was always like telling me, being very kind to me. But always telling me that, yeah, you're not American. You should not sing in English. I was like, I only listen to music in English. So, and yeah, but you speak French. I was like, no, I speak French, English, Spanish. At that time, I spoke those, and Lingala. So I spoke those 4 already at that time. So I don't see why I should choose. Yeah, but quotas, but like, I didn't understand. So it was very frustrating to me, but it was the way at that time. And all we dreamed of was signing, all of us. I think it was the only way anyway, because we had no clue how much it cost, but it cost a fortune to be able to release music to the world. And so Fast forward 6 years after, when I signed to one sub label of Sony Music in 1998, all of a sudden, yeah, I had the whole thing signed to Sony Publishing at the same time. So I was in Sony Publishing and recordings, and all of a sudden I had the big team. I had, like, PR team, etc., magazine interviews, all that stuff. Actually, my mom sent me a bunch of them. I have to scan them. It was amazing to read my old interviews from 25 years ago. And I'm telling you, it's them, it's not me. So, and put those likes. Everybody put that like. Good, I like this. Now imagine that when I'm in Sony and my first album comes out, and I have like the stores with big posters. I like it. So in France we have this store called Fnac, which is like the Virgin Megastore or Tower Records in the US, or in Portugal also have Fnac. And in the Fnac, I remember the day of the release of my album, there was big posters, huge posters, but big in all the Caribbean world music section. They put them like in the Fnac Châtelet, and I was walking there. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And then I remember going in the I remember when I went to the club the first time, and DJ Alan, he was in Nanterre, and he played my song Téléphone, and everybody was dancing. It's kind of surreal, this idea that, oh my God, it's happening. But everything was guided by the execs on the record label. I had no hands on anything else than the creation of the music and the concept of my own music. Everything else, they decide everything. They put me in the different places. They told me, yeah, you're gonna go sing here for free, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, etc. And at a point, so it was kind of interesting, it was kind of interesting to me to design my first album, and because I was coming from the graphic school after the economic school, I designed everything on Quark Express, all the pages of the album, and you could turn it. I don't know. Let me see if I have the album here. Wait, it's. Never find those things when I need them. Well, forget it. So then the album came out and went gold. So in France, gold was 100,000 copies, and I became the number one selling. Was good, bon chose. Number one selling artist. While I'm talking, you can put what time it is and the flag of the country where you're listening from. So I became the number one selling artist of French world music, Caribbean music, Zouk and African music in the French territory after Kassav. Nobody did those numbers, and it was crazy. And I didn't really realize the pioneer status that I was having. I didn't think about all that. All I knew was that I wanted my music to be heard, etc., etc. So at a point, why was it good at that time to have a record label and people taking care of you, etc.? Was that as an artist, all you had to focus was your art. That's it. And today, imagine doing a TV show back in the 80s, back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s. Even if it's a show when it's just you talking, there's no guest. At that time, it was just you, your notes. Somebody would install you a microphone or put a microphone in front of you, and you would have somebody behind the camera there, maybe somebody behind another camera there, maybe another mobile camera somewhere, somebody taking care of the sound, somebody taking care of the lights. You would have one post for each people, somebody making sure that the image goes from let me show you. How do I do this? That the image goes from looking like this to looking like this. Taking care of everything. Picture setting, gamma, camera options, etc., making sure that the whole thing is looking great. And then you would have rehearsal, and those cameras, each camera would cost at that time thousands and thousands of euros. And very interestingly, when you look at this show, it's a one-man operation. Decor, lightning, the whole 3 lights, everything in the back, camera, the whole setting, and everything is done with YouTube. You see what I mean? So in music is the same thing today. Today, we can do everything by ourselves. You can have a microphone like this that costs $200, and with a microphone like this, you can record. It's a digital version of the microphone that Michael Jackson used to record Thriller. So today, you can record your music by your own, and that's the real revolution. And it brought a lot of amazing things for artists and creators. And it's interesting because as I'm talking to you, and I never prepare my show, so I'm just freestyling. But as I'm talking to you, I'm realizing that it's not just music. It's music, it's image. All of us are different businesses and our different crowds that follow us. It's all through our phones or our setups, and all of us we all are independent businesses, all of us. And it's very interesting. And the real revolution, if you think about it, is that creators, artists they don't need a label. They don't need nobody to do all these things that my label did for me at that time.